it to me, or DM it to me, and then I'll retweet it, or you can tweet it. I'll retweet it out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you now. Okay, you're live. Go ahead.
Thanks. They're definitely stressing out now. I see a lot of movement in the back. They are definitely getting ready. There's a lot of movement we can see in the back now. So we're being told which exit route to take when they do charge. No point in fighting them, just get out.
It's a battle of attrition.
Yep. Make them, make them guard the road all night. Waste more resources from them.
It's a battle of the wills, it's who wants this future enough.
Yep. And we want it. They're saying we want true democracy. That's the message you're hearing now.
It's great to see we got 60 viewers back. That's the same numbers we had on the last stream. Thank you to everyone who's joining us. We have a Q&A in the bottom left-hand corner, you can send us your questions and comments. Please do.
A lot of reinforcements have arrived through the back now. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot more reinforcements that's come by on the police side. 幾多啊？大概
深藍衫後邊嗰啲
三男啊？
係啊，好似有啲深藍衫。
We've spotted some PTU. That's like the special force. They're the most aggressive guys. They've been spotted in the back. So people are definitely on alert now. We're warming up right now.
真冇蛇，我要真冇蛇。有冇人要頭盔啊？
喂，有冇人要頭盔？有冇人頭盔？有冇人要頭盔啊？
我要真冇蛇。
There's a lot of movement from the police. You can definitely see they do have reinforcements in the back. And they're moving towards the front. This could happen and kick off any minute now. Không có không có cho này cho mình xanh mà nó xem được rồi sao? Nó ám xem được rồi. Không hay xanh mà ý là mình xanh không hay. Không cần rồi. Cái xanh rồi. Có cho sao?
Hey guys, I've got to rock and roll, man, but it's been fantastic on air. I'll leave you guys to rock and roll it. Stay warm with it, James and Chris. Great.
Are you sure you want to leave now? This is really about to go down.
Sounds like you're about
You
to
are
miss the
leaving
party.
at the worst moment, Shem.
Oh, he's gone, everyone.
Yeah, he's missing the biggest moment of the night.
Miss it. He's gonna miss it. I'm just catching up on some of the news from earlier today. Looks like Al Jazeera has been covering this quite well.
Yes, they have.
Oh, and it looks like we are losing you, James.
Things are getting very tense all of a sudden.
Thế你咪叫人就過嚟咯。
隻腳佢又有，隻腳佢又有。
有冇啲乳酪包俾啲狗啊？
So where are the? Did you say that was the PTU? Where are they? Are they in the
Yep.
background there with the shields?
They're always in the background in formation. They are always hiding and crouching around. They will pop out of nowhere.多幾場？多唔多幾場？幾多啊？
佢哋頭先話有好多反黑，冇嗰啲有30有40個嚟緊就
有冇200？
反黑嚟嘅，背心嚟嘅。
哦。
後面仲有啊！樓上咧，等陣有咩事唔該散開俾我哋過翻對面啦。
使咩讓翻少少路？讓翻少少路啊！咩走唔到啊？遞翻出去啊！
好。We see barricades being moved to the front now to separate the police and protesters, because there's nothing separating the two sides. They're hiding it though for now.
So who's putting up these barricades?
The protesters.
Okay. Welcome back, Jamie. Oh, sorry, is that Jamie or is that and Theo? Okay. Who else do we have this? Tom, okay. Cool, guys. Yeah, so we're waiting. It looks like the police are getting ready. We've got the PTU in the background with the shields and the riot gear.
We love this guy. This guy has the Holy Spirit. He's speaking in tongues to the cops.
You see, he's motioning to the cops or speaking in tongues. He says Jesus is with us and not with them.
What are you all fan of? Are you all fan of? 開唔到次話，褪翻少少啊！
係咧，啲咁多位。
So we got some disruption. What are they saying, James, for anyone who hasn't been following this?
We want true democracy, universal suffrage. There he is. The preacher, we call him.
And this is the guy that's speaking in tongue.
Yes. That's what he said. And everyone's repeating his tongues.
We have a question from Jesse Young. He wants to know whereabouts in Hong Kong are you at the moment?
Admiralty. On Lingwall Road. So they're all imitating him, or a couple of people are, with their hands up.
Are you wearing your mask, James? Very good. Press.
Oh, that's so long. Oh my god.
I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna show him.
Okay.
With them. As in, like a USB cord?
Oh, I don't have a spare one.
No, you don't?
No.
Are you charging right now?
Yeah, I'm almost down
Crap.
to 11.
I need to use this phone, but it's on 3%.
Oh,
Or
crap.
1%. Shit.
My-
Yeah, but so far. Damn
That's
it.
true. When did you get down here?
When did I get here?
Yeah.
Like 6?
Wow. So you've been here all night.
Yeah, I've been all night.
Did you get hurt?
No.
Thank God.
I never get hurt.
Yeah. That's good.
Other than if you count tear gassing, then that will hurt, but I don't get beat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where's your mask?
it's in my bag, but I
They're
don't
gonna spray. You weren't here the first time they played,
Yeah,
right?
I
They
was.
sprayed everywhere
Yeah.
first.
I don't know. I'm not scared. I feel like it's way too like suffocating.
Yeah.
And that makes me look like a protester.
Well, now you make me feel overdressed.
Oh, you're not overdressed. You're just intense. Oh, I'm really trusting the police. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I am totally not trusting the police. I mean, they hit 2 female journalists in Longmore Road, and they were
Really?
crying and shouting at the officers at the other end.
really?
2
Who
women,
was it?
not sure, 2 girls were crying and
Who was
shouting
it?
and screaming at officers.
Who was it?
I have no idea. They were from Hong Kong.
What?
2 ladies, young ones, press ladies.
Do you speak Chinese? Why don't you ask
Take
them?
time.
Why don't you ask them?
What was it saying?
I don't know. All the police officers I've encountered have been nice to me.
Okay, you must have that lovable face, you know?
No, I'm just like, hey sir, can we do this? I'm sorry. Like, just polite. I see them as people. So like,
During the protest.
during the protest. Like, yeah, I was there like the first day. Like, Hong Kong went crazy. Like,
Right.
if they weren't there, we would have gotten like screwed. Like,
Yeah.
by all those anti-people. Like, this whole week I'm on top experiences. Like, never got hurt.
You've been lucky, trust me, you've been really lucky.
Talking to a journalist, James.
I mean, in fact, they protected me. The first
Yes,
time
I
they-
am talking to another journalist,
Oh,
yes.
sorry. The first time they had clashes, I got like squeezed into a wall.
Do you want to say hi to
Oh,
us?
hi.
This is Chris Ellis, he's in England.
Oh, hi, Chris Ellis.
Hey.
So we're here on top of the barricades. Do you want to say hi? Or
Hello.
ask a question?
Yes.
Well, how,
Hi.
hi. Well, we were just listening to your conversation. I wondered if you wanted to do like an interview.
Sure.
Alright, I'm going to push it forward.
Sure.
Who do you work for? What's your name and who do you work for?
Desiree. I'm a university student from Vancouver in Canada. So I'm interning with Harvard Times. It's an independent newspaper here in Hong Kong that covers Hong Kong politics and international affairs, Chinese English. So, yeah. Just an
Fantastic.
intern. Most exciting internship ever.
But she's got amazing updates at Desiree Farr on Twitter. She really has amazing updates from the front all the
So,
time.
what's your Twitter handle?
This is Desiree, that's spelled desire with an extra E, and then underscore FA.
Can you get the microphone on her, James? We couldn't hear that.
GES.
It's desire with an
Desire.
extra E,
Yeah.
with an extra E, and then underscore, and then FA, so that's Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, I'll get that up on the
And she was at Ledsco as well the night the glass broke down, and we were interviewing someone almost at the same time. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
So
Because like they didn't let you go in.
Yeah.
You're press by.
exactly. So Desiree's always at the front here. I'm putting herself on the line to give great Twitter updates, so do follow her.
My camera broke, so I don't have great pictures anymore.
Did you have another question for Desiree?
Well, it just sounds like she's avoided a lot of the. She's come through this relatively unscathed. You've been down every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm so proud of the site, and like every single time there's been a conflict, I've been here. Yeah. I got like tear gas twice. Like, I mean, like it's not like. I mean, there's been 2 times where I've been actually scared of police, but I've personally never like gotten hurt. And in fact, a lot of times, like.
James. That's Desiree's Twitter handle there. We're just gonna keep the live stream.
Did we lose him?
We did.
Okay, he'll come back. He's been. I was listening. I was doing some other stuff. He's been having on and off trouble sometimes, but sometimes he has to charge, or he has. I say here he
Right
is.
now, guys, we're back. We're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you are, Desiree. They've got you.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, you don't have to like pull that up. Like that's embarrassing.
Well, no, you can get more people can follow you now.
Oh, I don't really care.
We'll
It doesn't
Oh, okay.
sound like you. It doesn't sound like you care much about the followers.
No, she
No.
doesn't. That's good though.
Yeah, it is good. It's honest.
So Chris is in England, and Theo, you're in Germany, I believe.
Great.
Yep, I'm in Germany right now. So we cover
Okay.
most of the globe with our different time zones in the World Crypto Network. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And is it just lagging?
I guess things are they're kind of calm again, aren't they? After being really intense for a long time.
Is it,
You're
are
telling
they
us that you
unhappy?
saw the flag in the background, James. Has anything changed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start.
No, they didn't throw it. They were just unfurling it.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Just
weren't
posturing.
like saying they weren't. Yeah. They weren't actually like showing in as a warning. They were just kind of. There's one guy that always carries it, so he just
So do they kind of just provoke people by kind of playing with those flags, you think? Just to see their...
No, I don't think so. No, there's procedure. They don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pretty professional. Sorry. I know James doesn't like police.
No, that's
I don't
okay.
really have. James hates police.
all opinions are welcome here on WCN.
He hates
So-
police. I'm not saying they're bad or good. I'm just saying there's good and there's bad ones. But my experience is in the middle. Like, yeah.
And looks like things are much less tense because people are sitting down again. A few officers have lowered their gears and shields, so I don't think we're in a super tense situation like we were 10 minutes ago when the guy was on the megaphone. And they've stopped making announcements. And they've also stopped making announcements on their police megaphone because every time they do it just really irritates the crowd and the crowd just shout back and they realize that now, so it's just calm on both sides.
To be honest, it was like tonight I actually got a chance to talk to a few officers, and for them, they said that they didn't want people to get hurt, and they weren't going to, like, it wasn't their plan to, like, you know, forcefully clear everyone off like earlier, but people actually like charged at police, or like not like charge like they do like stop, but they kept on advancing even though police were like stopped. Like they were like I personally saw them like the police at first they were like actually outnumbered, so they actually moved back. Like they'd be like here, stay distance, but it's protesters who kept on moving like forward. So, you know, a lot of police officers when we were over at the park after they cleared everyone off the road, they're like, we don't actually want people to get hurt. Like, you know, if they just stay there and like, you know, just didn't, you know, push us or charge at our lines, then it's fine. So, I don't think, you know, they don't want confrontation. Like they know it's usually bad press and stuff too. At least that's what the officers told me. And they gave me cookies.
James has a love-hate relationship with the police. They love him, he hates them.
I think the police think he's really funny because one time, I think it was on the last show or whenever, like the police officers were saying like on TV, oh yeah, there's that silly guy. That funny guy. Yeah.
So things are definitely much calmer now, and it's nice to have a different perspective here. Thanks, you know, it's really nice to have Desiree because I've given you one perspective, and it's nice for you guys to get someone else's perspective here in Hong Kong.
Like actually, the first day, so I'm sure you covered Mong Kok, right? So the first day on Tuesday when they're clearing, I was there, and I saw how they cleared that one road that was for the junction of Argyle Street, but then people spilled over to Portland Street, and they were sitting for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden, like I was standing there like watching, and then protesters were like getting pushed back, and police were charging and telling them to clear off, and I got squished into like a wall and I couldn't even move, and then I was like holding up my journalist press badge, and then they're like you know, like I have the video, and after I watched back, I'm like, oh, they actually said this. They're like, oh hey, like this is a journalist, don't push, oh my gosh, like this girl you're still hitting, like stop it, you might hurt a girl, and like, you know, and then I showed the press badge and they stopped yelling at me and they were yelling at people beside me to move because they didn't have the press badge. So yeah, they're nice. And then once they got people cleared off like Portland Street, then it kind of got into this little street that goes this up and connects to Nathan Road, which is the other road that got cleared on Wednesday. And then all these blue guys, the special unit guys, showed up, and they look super tough looking. I kind of scared them, like.
The PTU, we call them.
Oh, okay, PTU. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was their name. But no, there's special weapons training unit or something. Anyways, I'm like, oh, sir, can I take a picture of this? And then they're like, oh yeah, no problem. And they're like, you're by yourself? Like, where's your coworkers? You know, so yeah, like it's chill. And then like, you know, like the lady officers are like, here, careful, like we don't want you to get hurt because they might like come back. So Yeah, they looked out for me.
So you've had a very good experience here, and you're definitely 1 out of 100 that I've
Okay.
spoken with that have had such a nice experience. You talked to Chris, LC.
Yeah. Or
He's
even
been
my other
hurt a lot.
coworker, Michael, he
Yeah.
said that for, like, he was always kind of like in the middle, and then after Montauk, he's like a police hater now because he got yelled at, and he actually yelled back because he's like, oh no, what am I doing?
Michael Long,
Like,
right?
Yeah. He's like, oh no, what am I doing? Like, I'm not supposed to yell back. I did anyways. Oh no. But like, yeah, he hates them, and he saw how they pushed them and hit them. But I don't know. I've never.
It's not males as well. Stegosaurus, she's a girl. She's been hit as well. She was
Okay, she
very
wasn't
upset.
exactly hit. She was like kind of shoved and pushed.
Right.
She was telling like, move forward, move forward, move forward. She's like hit.
Right,
It's
so
like
shoved.
Yeah. Choice of word.
Yep, there you go. So you can see a lot of journalists have had different mixed experiences. At least we're glad Desiree's had a nice experience here. Because they do show their humanity, I guess, from time to time.
Yeah, and I mean, and also like, sometimes as journalists, it's so easy to just like focus on like just like the action and take out the context of like what actually happened, or even like in like video. Like obviously, there's some officers I don't deny that have been super scary, super aggressive, and super like just brutal for no reason. I find, if that's my interpretation. But also, like, if you just look about tonight, like, I've heard multiple of them just saying, okay, let's retreat. And then, you hardly see how, you say they have physical violence, but then you hardly show, maybe on the protesters, they have a lot of verbal violence, too. Like, you understand kind of the things that they're saying a lot of times, the front lines, and how they're, like, swearing at police. Like, that's still violence, too. So, I don't think it's as black and white as people think it is. So maybe that's my approach. I'm not like, oh, I hate you because you're a police, or you're a blue ribbon, or you're a yellow ribbon, or you're a good person because of this. I think it's more nuanced. That's just my take. Yeah.
No, I like it.
So there you go. We have.
I like it.
Thanks.
So it's really nice. Thank you so much, Desiree, for sharing your experience here. And it's actually nice to hear that at least one journalist is not having a brutal time, right?
I'm sure there's others.
Yeah. But do let me know if you find another one. We'd love to get them on as well.
Yeah, sure. And, I find that, people, there's some officers who are like, kind of meh, but I've also met some officers tell me that they actually, they're in a hard position because they want democracy too, but at the same time, they're trained to think in a certain way of like labeling, categorizing, like what is considered like not social order, and so it's challenging for them too. And I think at the end of the day, even if you're wearing a uniform or even if you're wearing a yellow ribbon, blue ribbon, you're still a human at the end. So not to just prejudge someone just because of that. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that?
Yeah, we did, and that's absolutely backs up what you were telling us in the early days of this protest, James. That the police were actually saying to you in private that they were supporting you, at least in spirit, but that they were in a very difficult position and couldn't do anything.
Correct. So yes. So thanks a lot, Desiree, for giving us that little interview and giving us your experience here at Occupy. All right, I'll see you around. All right, so that was Desiree Farr there, who's given us a really unique
perspective. So we'll wait for James to come back. How are you doing, Theo? What are you making of all this so far?
I'm doing well. I don't know. I'm kind of worried for them. Like I said, I just don't like when everyone goes into that one big open area like that. I already asked him earlier if there's an exit. There's one exit through a tunnel, and there's another exit in another direction. He said that's really big. So if they feel okay, but I just get this kind of nerve-wracks me, the kind of logistics that they've got themselves in right there, it looks like. But like I said, I'm not there on the ground, so I can't really see, if they're really kind of surrounded or halfway surrounded or whatever. And like I was saying earlier, I'm not really sure where all this is supposed to lead. I mean, they're definitely testing the waters. China doesn't want a Tiananmen Square again.
Exactly.
And they're testing out how far the protesters are like, okay, let's escalate. They even just said, let's escalate this. I'm a little worried. I talked to James about it. I'm a little worried about, okay, well, he showed two journalist faces. That's okay. They clearly had press passes, but I'm getting a little worried that he might be incriminating people, but I think that he's been really careful about showing people's faces that are actually on a blockade or something. So because I don't know the legality of if they announced, hey, you're not supposed to be on this street at the moment. I have no idea, but he's aware of that he has to be really careful about, we also had some viewers that had the same concern. So we've definitely been telling James that he needs to watch it. He knows too. He agrees. So I'm also a little worried about that. And we were joking that maybe some police are watching the stream.
Oh, it's not a joke. I mean, I'm absolutely positive that they.
Yeah, but we were also joking because his battery was about to run out, and then they were going to do something. They're really like
Right.
timing it exactly. I think that was just coincidence. But yeah, sure. I mean, if I was the police, I would be doing. You just pay. You either get some really, some people that are really good at intelligence, and they just, cruise social media and watch videos and stuff, or you just pay some students to do it, and then when they find something interesting, they ring, their boss to like pay attention to this. I mean, it's not really at that point. Well, it is getting near that point. They're blocking, government buildings. They've made it really difficult. He showed earlier they've kind of put trash and wood and stuff on these escalators and other pathways to government buildings, so it's going to be really hard for the workers to go there even if they want to. So they don't have to physically. They've kind of barricaded in a few buildings, it seems like. So that's getting kind of to the point where if you're the government, you've got to ask, where do you draw the line, and what are you going to do, and are you just going to put a few people in the jail, and for how long, etc. And I think that America or in Europe, definitely in Europe, Western Europe, they're really used to this style of protest. That's what Shem was saying. He was saying, they're just not really used to this style of protest. They don't really know how to react exactly. And I think in Europe, they're kind of used to it, and they know how to kind of deal with it. It's just a routine. They've got a lot of procedures, and they know how to kind of quell that kind of protest and make either by force directly, or they might decide to let the protesters make themselves irrelevant and kind of lose energy, etc. But this protest is not losing energy, and I'm really surprised.
Well, this is exactly what I was saying. Now, we've got Anon Snufkin, who's sent us some links to a really good Twitter list, which includes a lot of the people that are actually there on the ground, right there in the front line. So I will start retweeting some of these people, and I guess you can just follow this list. In fact, actually, I'll just tweet this list out in a moment.
He's talking about a kettle, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that came from Holland, didn't it? That came from the
yeah.
Dutch
Well,
people.
That's European. I'm in Germany. I mean, how many kettles have I been in? I don't know. I mean, it's so silly. It's like a big herd of protesters. The thing is, right there, the protesters herded themselves into that situation. I mean, it might be a real significant intersection where they're at or something, which is okay maybe from a tactical point of view. But on the other hand, like I said, that's why I said, is there anywhere to exit, or where he had to go through a tunnel to get there? It was kind of, I mean, I would be kind of freaked. I mean, maybe I'm too paranoid. I wouldn't like going through a tunnel like that, because there's no way. You never know if they're going to cut it off suddenly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're not up to that kind of tactic. Well, whoa. Is that from Hong Kong? Special Duties Unit?
Well, no, this is what this chap on Snufkin.
Okay, he's back.
I'm back.
Oh no, he was back and then he was gone again. Yeah, so he sent me these two links. Cops in dark blue coveralls are made up of SDU and these guys, Airport Security Hong Kong. So it sounds like this guy is kind of military knowledge of some kind, knows tactics. Okay, we're back with James. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, it looks like that glints for him. It looks like the Airport Security Unit has got to James's phone. Maybe it's the Special Duties Unit. It's one mean-looking badge. Look at that gas mask in the little Uzi. Is that an Uzi or what is it? Or maybe it's like a pepper spray gun. So yeah, I retweeted his tweets for the Twitter list that has got some frontline journalists that are tweeting out live in real time some of the pictures that are going on. And as we've already been saying this evening on World Crypto Network, this is a battle of the wills. This is the battle of attrition to see who wants their version of the future the most, who's willing to put in the most energy. Actually, you can just see here, that's actually James right there on the left-hand side. That's his World Crypto Network press badge on the left of that picture. I just noticed that. How funny. I'm going to retweet that right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering where are the resources coming from for all these people to just camp out for a month at a time. It's really mind-boggling.
Yeah, you keep getting kicked off, James. Let me see if I can contact him on Twitter, actually.
Yeah.
Let me just do that in a separate window, and I'll keep those pictures up. Sorry, you were going to say, Theo?
Well, I was just saying, I don't know how they're able to protest for so long. I mean, some of them are students. Maybe they have some kind of basic income, but I believe a few weeks ago the government kind of cracked down on some of the student income. I don't remember the exact details, but they just basically said, okay, we're going to cut back some of the benefits because basically all the students are protesting, so they just punished them all. And so I'm just wondering, how it's able to continue on so long. The will is there, that's clear, but that's not always enough. Like I said, you've got to eat, you've got to pay your rent somehow, and sometimes this kind of, everyday life stuff is going to get out of the way of, quote, just protesting.
Well,
So,
you know how, like, in moments of desperation, you find this kind of inner strength or this other resource that you can't account for. I think that's what happens at these kinds of events where people are pushed so far, because I think the need for universal freedom, the need to be freer in the future, and the need to try to increase our opportunities as our lives go on is universal. The degree to which we're willing to accept responsibility for that freedom, I think, is not necessarily a linear or an exponential scale. It doesn't go up in sympathy with the need for freedom. And I think a lot of the time people simply mistake comfort for safety. I think it's as simple as that. They feel comfortable, so they feel safe, and they confuse that with security, and it's not. As soon as you start to feel comfortable in your life, there's usually a payoff somewhere else. There's usually a deficit being spent, and in this case they got comfortable because Hong Kong was a British colony for so long, and then after about we've been 10, 13, so about 15, 16 years since the British gave Hong Kong back, in quotes, to China, and now China wants to bring it back in with the mainland. It wants to make it part of the regular communist regime. And of course, people got used to that freedom. We saw the same thing in the French Revolution. We saw the same thing in ancient Athens. We've seen it time and time again throughout history. You give people a taste of autonomy and freedom and self-mastery, and then try taking it away again. Usually these revolutions are revolutions of the middle classes. They are usually revolutions by people who got a taste of freedom, and then the power structure tried to take it away, and I think that's always a big mistake.
Unmute. Yeah, that could. I guess I agree. Yeah, sure. People get that extra power if they really believe in something, no doubt. And yeah, let's see where this leads us. I'm not really sure where this is going to lead, but I'm glad we're getting, first-hand reporting of it. That's really amazing that we're able to do that, and for so long today. So,
yeah, I've just told James to actually restart his phone. Actually, see if he can do that.
Right.
He just got sent this.
So we're gonna have to get him a VPN or something.
Well, the VPN would actually make it worse because then it's an extra hop that he's got to go through.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Let's see. James, come in. He seems to be logging in, and then within a second, he's kicked off.
Must be a conspiracy.
I think so. I think you're right. I think
because that is not normal. You know,
It doesn't normally do that. It doesn't normally let you log
and
in.
it's not a technical problem. He's been streaming for over 8 hours today.
Or maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, maybe his account. They're just like, okay, you've been streaming enough hours today. Forget that. You know, you've got to have another account to do that. That could be it. But I mean, come on, it's free content for Google. Hey Google, let us stream. It's free content for you.
Hey Larry, Sergey, can you hear us? This is great SEO. This is great for your bottom line.
Yeah. Hey, SEO is content driven. I mean, come on. You know, people are watching videos, not reading. That is true. And of course, listen to Matt Cutts talk. Content is king. Content is king, you know. And people are watching videos now. They're not reading all this crap that people are writing or spitting out, paying college kids, you know, 1 cent a word to write, 1,000-word articles or whatever the new SEO standard is. I don't know what, I don't really know what the next one is. There's Matt.
Come on, Matt. Come on.
Come on, give us. Now, there, guys, we're creating content here. You told us in your last video you said create content. Hi, James. Let's see, you got kicked off. Matt, come on, you got to talk to your guy. So I'm following, your guide.
Have your people. Talk to our people, Matt. You talk to our people will talk to your people. Just get us the bandwidth, Matt. You know this makes sense.
Maybe now they have voice detection for keywords. So what we've done is our concentration for some of the keywords is way too high, because that's what you get in trouble for that in tech. Keyword stuffing, which used to work a few years ago, but we're doing too much keyword stuffing.
I came along and updated the algorithm to Panda, and then you got
right. Well, yeah. They also update. Well, hey Matt, just in case people noticed, you also happen to update the algorithm to favor people that use AdSense to advertise. So I don't know how you manage that, but if you're on the Google side, then you automatically get a little boost. Company A doesn't advertise using Google products, and company B that does, company B is going to get little bonus points for using Google. I mean, hey, it's a private product. The search engine is not, it's not mine. They can do what they want.
That is serving a public need. That's
but problem. They can do. People need to, we need to use alternatives. There are a few. It's just, what is it, DuckDuckGo and.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shit, I don't even remember. I mean, it's just not as good anymore.
You just proved the point.
Well, there's another. Well, what I wanted to say is that there's another one, and it's based on Google, but they just don't save your, your information. Somehow they are able to use it. Well, Bing is not that bad. Oh God, Bing is not that bad, but they still collect all your info too. And Yahoo is pretty bad, but I kind of like that, old school '90s experience. But it's pretty rough if you really need to get any information,
I just want to quote this from Matt Cutts. It's the objective is not to make your links appear natural. The objective is that your links are natural. Oh, come on, Matt. Don't give us that. Don't give us that. When you listen to his videos on SEO, he is clearly telling you how to make them appear. He's not telling you what they should be. He's giving you guidelines. It's like when accountants go study accounting. They don't study accounting so they can help their clients be honest. They're learning accounting so they can help their clients cheat the rules. Like, don't be naive, people. Don't lie. That's not authentic. Right there, what he's doing is feigning authenticity. James.
Oh wow! It hasn't cut off instantly this time.
Wow, it's working. Well, when you were gone, we were pleading with the Google Master to let you come on. Maybe it worked.
We were praying to the Google sun gods.
Yeah, right.
Oh wow. Well, the gods have answered your prayers, and we are back live here in Hong Kong. So we've asked people, what do you think is happening? Why is everyone just sat down, and why are the police not attacking? It just seems like they're tired. The police are tired, and they're just having a bit of a break. And it looks like they will have a go at this, at a clearance of Longmore Road, probably before business hours. So everyone's expecting, it's 5:30
Oh no, we lost him. I was just going to bring up this picture of
Man,
Katie
they're
Lee.
not listening to us. We didn't pray enough. Unbelievable.
But this is one
This
of the
guy fell
protesters
asleep or
fell
what?
asleep on his iPad or whatever. I
Wow,
can't
that's
get the
rough.
picture to appear big, yeah. Huh.
Try again.
All right, try again.
Just going to keep persevering.
All right, so we're back live again here. It's 5:35 a.m. We are expecting a clearance of Longwell Road before business starts because it's Monday morning. So people go to work around 9. So they need this road open probably 8 o'clock, 7:30. So we're probably going to be another hour and a half before they probably attempt to clear this site. And we're not going to resist. People are just going to run away when they do attempt to clear the site. So everyone's just getting some rest on both sides at the moment. There's only a small amount of officers that are actually directly facing off, and a lot of them must be sitting down and relaxing somewhere, just like the protesters are.
It's not a good idea to give away your tactics, as if they're watching you.
Right, no, but they know that. We've never fought them. No, we always retreat. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you keep coming back, and that's where your power is. It's the ability to be
Correct.
anaerobic rather than aerobic. The intensity that wins.
Right, so we can see.
Getting a little break up there. Does look like the NSA are onto him.
We still on?
Yeah, we are, but it's breaking up a little bit. Keep going, though. Keep talking. I mean, another thing, actually, Theo, is it could just be his mobile phone provider just hiding that he's using.
It's the signals. I can. It's just. Oh, we're full now. We've got a lot of bars here,
Okay,
but
great,
earlier
great.
we had no bars at that area.
Stick there, then. Stay there. So talk us through what you were saying earlier.
I'm down to one bar again. All right. Okay. So it's Monday morning, but it's 5:37 now. They want this road for business hours, definitely. Normally work starts at 9, so we anticipate they'll probably clear this before 7:30ish. So now that it's 5:30, we probably have another hour or so just to rest up on both sides before they attempt to clear. So I think we should be okay for now. Everyone's just getting some rest.
And I suppose that the objective from your guys' perspective is that you just want to be a bit of a drain on their resources and just make sure that they have to work for it. If they want the business hours to be open, make them work for it. Don't make their lives any easier than it has to be.
Absolutely. It's about resource training, which is why for the last 2 days at the Mongkok area, they took the protest site, so we've lost it. So we've turned into a mobile protest. We've been using guerrilla tactics, going from Mongkok to other districts, occasionally running onto the street, blocking off roads by moving dust cans, real guerrilla tactics, taking a train to a certain getting off the next station, totally toying with them all over Hong Kong. They were chasing us all over the trains, the sidewalks, just absolutely wore them out. And while we were doing this, we were having a lot of fun singing and chanting and drumming, and they were just miserable chasing us. They didn't know where we were headed to, what our final destination was, what our goal is, and we just frustrated the hell out of them for the last 48 hours at the other protest site at the Mongkok area. The protest site doesn't exist because it's been cleared. However, people always convene after work at Mongkok and start this type of guerrilla warfare, and that's been going on for 3 days straight now at Mongkok. And that's put a real strain on police resources.
And it's not just the police, you're actually hitting the government where it hurts, which is its money. That's
Right.
what you're doing. It's a proxy because they won't talk to you. They're the government. They're supposed to represent the public. They're not representing anyone because they're putting a cowardly police force between them and you. I mean, it's cowardice all the way through, top to bottom. But it's about putting up a firewall between them and their power structure. They don't want you to know what they're getting up to whilst you're looking the other way, whilst you can't see. Your backs are turned. They want to put their hands in the kitty. They want their power. They want the control. And that's why they put the police out there. And that's how you're really targeting them. You're targeting them by draining them of what they need the most, and that's the money.
Yes. And also, I privately, I've now spoken to a good 4 officers for at least half an hour. And I've made some friends, actually, on the police force, believe it or not. And what they've told me is working 8 days straight of 15-hour shifts is driving them insane at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
I mean, they want to spend some time with their families, but they can't. They're working 8 days straight, 16 hours. They only have time to sleep and change at home, come back out again. And that frustration is boiling over into the baton. And they admitted that off the record.
Well, they don't have anything to look forward to, James. What's keeping you guys going is the dream. It's the vision of what you're. Why is it so important that you're doing this? You know why it's important. They don't.
Right. And they're paid to do this. No one here is. And one of the points that the protesters was making was, look at the antis. They have to be paid to be here, and yet all you could muster up was 300 antis, and they all paid. We're here on our own accord, and thousands show up.
They're not intrinsically driven. They're driven by money, and that's not enough. The most fearsome army of all is, I think it's an old saying, it's an army of sheep led by a lion, not an army of lions led by a sheep. Because you need that willpower, that leadership. A fish rots from the head down. And that's the problem when what you've got at the top is a bunch of corruption. They're not guided by any kind of moral authority or any big idea or a vision. They're guided by the whims of the flesh, just by pure, unadulterated desire. And that has no plan, has no capacity to envision anything like a future worth striving for. It just lives for its rotten, ill-gotten gains here and now in the present.
Yes. When I spoke to the officers as well, they also let something else leak out. I was like, we were having a nice casual chat, and I go, yeah, I do miss my baby. You know, I've been here every day for the last 2 months, and it's December now. If this finishes soon, I'll get to spend some time with family. And he goes, this won't end till January. So he actually let it slip. There's no police plan to clear this in the next month. While everyone's paranoid they're going to clear this whole area sometime in the next few days, the police pretty much admitted accidentally that there are no clearance plans for Admiralty.
I mean, two questions. Why do you think that is? And B, what do you think is going to happen over Christmas then, on Christmas Day itself?
Right. It would be a very interesting Christmas because normally people spend it with their families. But you could say it could be a very special Christmas here where everyone comes down and celebrates together as a country. So we could have a very interesting Christmas.
But I think what's interesting is, well, for example, what will happen on New Year's Day? Because isn't there going to be a fireworks display and all kinds of things like that?
True, but our last fireworks display, which was National Day and sometime in October, got cancelled as well. So they could just cancel that. They cancelled the last major fireworks in October when the protest happened. So they could easily cancel another one. They've already done it before.
I mean, it would be quite a big deal if Hong Kong didn't celebrate the New Year's handover, because I know that it has before, and they've had some pretty impressive displays now.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are in uncharted territory right now. This country's never seen anything like this. The sheer will and determination of these students. Everyone had thought the movement had died, but what's brought this alive again was police violence. They haven't learnt their lessons. After clearing Mongkok, they were super aggressive. Like Desiree said, they chased people down on this side street, on Portland Street, while while doing that, they used a lot of they called it a jetpack, but it was a really supercharged pepper spray solution that was basically splashed around everyone. So a lot of people got very hurt by that, and they also did their baton charges as well. So a lot of people were hurt, and also during the arrests, they didn't just arrest people. They actually, there's a lot of evidence that's come out, video evidence of protesters having their heads. So when you're on the ground, you're on the ground, but they had their heads kneed by officers, even though they were already subdued. Another person who was subdued got batoned in the stomach, and these are all on video. They've gone viral, hundreds of thousands of views, all these police brutality videos over the last couple of days. And then tonight, their initial action was violent. They cracked a few people's heads, blood was on the ground, and then that pissed everyone off, and the numbers went from a few thousand to many thousands. The violence, it was live on all the television here in Hong Kong, and it was very early, about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and that drove thousands more down here. They'd never learned excess violence just leads to
Oh, we've lost James. So yeah, there's this article here on Business Insider counting the costs of the protests, and it looks like the business has been struck quite badly. It was already looking bad earlier this year before the protests even started, but it also looks like some of the banks have been noticing some heavy losses, particularly in early October. You back with us, James? Oh. So let's see if James can come back. I'm also going to go over to Twitter. Some of you have been tweeting me. Let's go to this one by Oyi, who says, more people are identifying with good virtue rather than established religion. Religions are judgmental. Good virtue isn't. I always like to keep it light and airy on this channel, the World Crypto Network. We don't like to bring up any kind of heavy topics like religion. But yeah, I think you're right, and this goes to what Steven Pinker's been talking about a lot in the last few years of his lectures. If you look up Steven Pinker, he's a scientist and I guess a linguist. Linguist, is that the right word? He studies linguistics, and he's been talking about the fact that if you look at the big history of human civilization, that we have been more peaceful in recent times than at any other period in history. But what has risen is religious conflict. Okay, you're back.
Hey, hopefully you don't cut off immediately again. Oops, the angle's a bit off though. There we go. So I've just moved on to the grass here, just to catch a few, just to catch some rest. I'm just sat down now. I've been stood up for about 8 hours, so I'm just sitting down a bit. It's raining actually, so you can see the umbrellas are now out. It is raining.
The umbrella revolution.
Yeah, and I am in a raincoat, so I'm okay as well, even though I don't have an umbrella, but it is drizzling, so very good. So you're right, the will is very strong of the people here, but the police also made some critical errors. They used excess force, and all that excess force was documented, whether it be things that we witnessed on WCN the other day. What we saw was protesters running away from the site, and police chased them down with batons and beat them with batons, while these are protesters that are running away. So just let them go, or chase them down, but don't beat them with batons while they're running away on their backs. And that's what's happened. That was documented. I can give you about a dozen, more than a dozen, more like 30 to 40 examples, and these are all online now. And that's what's riled everyone up. That led to this rally call today. That's why Hong Kong Federation of Students called for this rally today of an escalation. It's our version of retaliating back for all the police violence. And that's why we see these escalation activities here today. And what they've done is they've furthermore, in the early evening, used a lot more violence, and that's what brought even more people down here So that's why when they cleared Lungmore Road, I mentioned that they used a lot of chemicals, but in terms of batons, they were very, very conservative with their batons. They just tapped us with it just to kind of lead us along rather than whack us. So they're aware that excess force equals more people. But then they forget that lesson after about a week for some reason, or give it a couple weeks. They've got a very short memory. They do it again, then it comes up alive again. It's never ending.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have the capacity to learn. Their learning behavior is very simple. It's kind of like an animal. And they're not,
Right.
this is not an advanced species we're talking about. What we're talking about here is kind of like what happened with the Neanderthals and some of the later Homo sapiens and the more intelligent humans that were adapting to their world, that were building agriculture, building farming methods, designing farming methods out of necessity. They were willing to do the work necessary to adapt to the changing nature of reality. This species, this control species, the tyrant, they're not willing to adapt, and so they're not going to survive because evolution is weeding them out. Every time they hit you, you get stronger, and they're just sitting there. They don't know why that is. They can't work it out. They're too stupid to work it out. There's a real stupidity to their evilness. It's just kind of, they just are very, very stupid. And you've just got to stick it out. You've just got to keep on going.
And what you said is absolutely true, because the protesters said earlier, yeah, and we're just going to get hit, but we're used to it. Yeah, we're going to eat some pepper spray, but we've tasted it a dozen times, it doesn't affect us anymore. We're immune to pepper spray.
Yeah.
So, what was once shocking and irritating, we're just used to it now. It's just a bad taste in your mouth, It's amazing how we've adapted to their weaponry. Whether it's being hit or getting sprayed, it's just not as effective anymore. They've been doing it for the last 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why maybe they have the dogs out today. That's something, but they haven't really unleashed them. We just hear the dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, they just want to create a mental image in your mind of fear. They're just trying to create fear because fear is all that they have. They're motivated by fear and they're trying to strike it into you. Because, I don't know, there's some weird sort of psychological process where they need to see your reaction in order to understand it in themselves a bit better, I think. Like, they just have to strike fear into you just so they can witness it on the outside.
And Chris, just before you joined, they did that. So the officers, what they did was they repositioned themselves, and it looked like they were going to charge. They put all their gear on, and then they faked us out. Within a minute of standing in position, making everyone nervous, they kind of laughed and walked away. I've never seen that. That was really unprofessional, actually. They were just leading the protesters on to think there was going to be a charge.
It's sadistic.
And they were toying with them.
That's sadistic, yeah.
Right. And so we have seen that tonight as well, that kind of sadistic behavior. Are you going to be around for the next hour or so?
I can be if you need me to be.
Absolutely. Okay, I think it might be good if we actually go offline here, because my battery is almost dead. It's pretty dead as well. But do you think it's possible to keep the same stream alive so that I can immediately just click in, we don't have to retweet anything?
I actually think what would be better is if we close this one down, just because we seem to be having some weird technical issues that we haven't had before, and I wonder if it's just this stream. So
let's shut it down.
Shut it down. Let's see what happens. We'll post the link to the new one in the comments section below. We've got 110 people doing it now. How long do you want to leave it, do you think?
It probably will be gone for an hour. I think things are going to be quite calm for the next hour.
Okay.
So,
in which case, I'll probably set up a new one in about 45 minutes, and then I'll link that one in the comments below, and obviously it'll be on Twitter, at Mr. Chris Ellis, at Welcome Network, and James is at PR Hacks. All right, so check it out, and thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in about an hour. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye.